Hello. For this module, our collaborative tool analysis, I decided to look at the collaborative tool of quizzes. It is found online. You can Google it. The cost, the basic plan is free, but you can upgrade to their super plan for $60 a year, $5 a month. Some of the services under basic, they have a free library of quizzes, so quizzes that teachers have already created that you can search through. There's a meme generator, so you can incorporate a little bit of fun into your quiz. You can create your own quizzes. You're able to access the reports from the quizzes that students have taken. It shows you the percentage correct, what students did well, some of the areas that students struggled. You're able to assign quizzes to students. Students are able to finish the quizzes at a student pace, or you can use it instructionally paced, and the teacher is able to teach the content while they're moving forward. So you can teach the content and have a short quiz in there as well. You're also able to see the progress as students are answering in real time. And there are also flashcards that students can use in order to study and to have some extra practice with the content. Students do not need an account to join, but there is a code that they're able to put in, which is very helpful, and you're able to set a due date. For the super plan, it's ad-free. They have some new themes, which are just really the screen when they're quizzing changes, gives like some fun different things that students can interact with. They have some additional tools for asynchronous learning, and they've also provided some interactive video and audio clips, as well as answer explanations for whether or not the answer is incorrect and why, or if it's correct and why. Upon further examination, there were also some really great collaborative features that could be used. Students are able to test as a team, which would allow for, they test individually, but then their score goes towards the team score. You could create study groups and have students use the flashcards to prepare for upcoming test quizzes. You have the ability to allow students to work together, so one student could have the device and they could work in a small group to complete a quiz or a test. You can also have students create their own quizzes and share them with others. There are live games which allow for some fun competition, and students are able to challenge their friends and share the created quizzes that they made. So for the construction of social presence, just beginning with the synchronous and asynchronous aspects. So synchronously, students are able to quiz and test as a team or group, so they can work together and have their individual scores go towards one score, or have students work together and have a group score. They can study together using the flashcards. They can get to know each other by creating quizzes about themselves and sharing them. They can teach each other by becoming an expert in a specific content area, and then using that to create a quiz and share what they've learned with other students. There is the friendly competition aspect, as well as creating quizzes for each other. The asynchronous aspects, you can assign homework to students and they could work together to complete this either during the day or after school. The use of study groups to meet outside of school or give them time to work together and study together. It can be self-paced, which just allows for students to work at their own pace or as a group at their own pace. And students are able to participate from anywhere as long as they have the code. The continued construction of social presence. The collaborative outcome that I connected this to on the table in 5.3 on page 109 and 110. So I kind of went through that table and looked at what I thought this tool would most connect with. So the collaborative outcome was the product development and demonstrate mastery. So students could create their quizzes, or the instructor could create a quiz, and they can use that to demonstrate their mastery. For the tool type, I said this would probably be project management or a collaborative document creation or online doc. Students could work in small groups and they could become experts in a topic and then teach this to the class and then assess by creating a test or quiz. For strategies and activities, I said this kind of would be more project-based learning, a presentation. Students could use this as a way to debate topics if they have the same topic and came up with opposite analyses, and then they could discuss this with each other and debate it, and they could use the quizzes as a way to introduce that information. And this would lead to a lot of student-led discussions as well as peer review. From the Dickers, Whiteside, and Lewis, their social presence model, for the effective association, in the article they said that this was not very highly rated by students or instructors, but still very important. And students could create a quiz about themselves and share it with others in the class to get to know each other, as well as the instructor doing the same thing, really getting to know their students and allowing their students to get to know them. For community cohesion, having students working in teams to take, create, or work together to use quizzes would really provide that cohesion and allow for them to really interact and get to know each other. For the interaction intensity, quizzes allows for many different possibilities of interaction intensity. Students can work independently, they can work in teams, they can collaborate to create a quiz or study together using the flashcards. So based on what kind of intensity they would be looking for, quizzes allows for very different interactions and intensity for that. For knowledge and experience, quizzes is ideal for knowledge and experience because it has you could create pre and post assessments, and it can be easily modified by the instructor to get a variety of information. So this is great for giving those pre-assessments, figuring out what your students already know, what you can kind of work on in different small groups, and as well as really creating creating content for diverse learners. If you need to modify or provide accommodations for students, quizzes is great for that. For the instructor involvement, quizzes allows for academic, social, emotional, and even just fun trivia for students to do. So this would allow the instructor to be very involved on different levels with their students in unique ways, and it's also effective and engaging. And then for my classroom connection, I kind of provided some ways that I would use this personally, but it would be great to use quizzes to add some variety, as well as allowing students to create quizzes in a content area that they feel very strong in, and then sharing this with the class. So I really think that I'm going to use this in our science unit. We're talking about the 5 classifications of animals, so allowing students to really become an expert on one of those classifications, and then teaching this to the rest of the class, and then providing the class with a quiz that they're able to take. So then they're all sharing their knowledge, they're collaborating with each other, and we're all working towards a common goal. The collaborating and studying together using flashcards is another aspect that I plan on using this for, having them work in little study groups and to use quizzes to become a team and hold each other accountable for studying and practicing. So splitting my class up into groups and allowing students to study and work together to create this quiz, and then or to study for quizzes and then allow their score to reflect their teamwork. I also thought this would be good for students to create quizzes to ask questions of either the class or the teacher, as well as answer questions that other students might have for them as well. So overall, I think quizzes is a great collaborative tool, and I plan on using this in my classroom. Thank you.